Hey everybody, and welcome back to E&W Farms. Today we're going to be starting the process of rebuilding or resealing. This is the part or the brake valve for the 6030. So this guy is leaking out the top, more than likely because of this dust boot right here being torn. That is where we're getting water infiltration and fluid coming out of, but we're fixing to go through and completely reseal this guy. We'll order new boots up here, go ahead and put two new pieces on up here for the plungers, and then put it back on the tractor. So this is where one of our big hydraulic leaks is out on the 6030. And I wanted to go ahead and fix this before we go out in the field. So in hopes that maybe when we go out, if it stays dry like it is right now, I may put the ripper back on and try to go rip some continuous corn ground where we grow corn at, and soften it up a little bit, just to get out and play with the 6030, and to see if we can benefit some yields for crop 2025. So it'll be a learning experience for the two of us. I do have service manuals for all of our tractors, so I'm not entirely afraid of diving into this. You can buy this valve already remanufactured, about $1,000. I bought a seal kit for 30 bucks off eBay. So we're gonna play with this for a little bit, see what we can come up with, and see if we can get this. So first step, we got to take some snap rings off right here at the top that hold the pivot pins on the brake pedals down to the actual plunger. And they're just we always call them a Jesus clip. It's not really the name for them. It's a snap ring with no grooves in it, put snap ring pliers in it. But the old guys, they always call them Jesus clips because they always said you always yelled Jesus, where did that go, after it flew off across the shop. With that right there, one of my students will be sure to remind me that screwdrivers are not punches or chisels. But like I always tell them, do as Mr. Dover says, and what else he does. So I've got a roll pin here that holds this pivot pin in for these brake pedals. I'm going to drive that out. This is another one of those things. There's an official roll pin punch set. Maybe you can see that right there. With roll pins, a lot of guys try to take a normal chisel or punch, really a normal punch, and drive those out. But what happens with a normal punch is whenever you try to drive on it, it actually swedges the pin up, and the pin will come out. Here may be something to get out itself. Wondering why I didn't drive it out the other side looked boogered up, so I was afraid that it wouldn't drive out. You can see how sloppy those pedals are. That's the reason why I'm taking this apart. I'm hoping that there's a bushing or something that's in there that we might be able to take out and maybe tighten that up a little bit. Swift here. Really tell if there is a bushing in there. I was thinking there was. See, well, there might have supposed to be a bushing in there. You see right in there, there's a bronze bushing in there. We'll order them, see if we can't tighten them pedals up. They won't be flopping around anymore. I'm gonna move you over here a little closer so you can see another view. Hopefully that's not going to be just plumb full. I'll try to send off over here to the side. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this one, and this one out and see if it releases these. This is one of those things, I've never built one of these. I tried to watch a few videos on YouTube, but wasn't much there. Ooh, that's gonna make a mess. Hey. Yummy. It's just about got to come out of the top. Oh yeah. Shoo-wee. I don't have any of these on hand. I'll have to order these in. And the reason why behind that is that there was 2 different styles. And the problem I have with my 6030 is the serial number plate is missing off the back of it. So I can't distinguish what year model my tractor is. I purchased the tractor, the guy that sold it to me as a 73. But there's not really any way to verify that other than the fact that it does have a green air cleaner. Supposedly in 73 they went to a green air cleaner, but I don't have a way to really know. So when it comes to buying parts, that's going to be a problem. I'm pretty positive. All my parts in a box here so we don't lose them. Probably taking way too much stuff off, but I would rather go ahead and do this all while I'm here versus having to come back and do it again some other time. There's a little check ball in this one, so, and then there's another one right here. Turn the spring cup. That little short spring. Got two pistons in there, but I ain't sure. Which way they come out. Whew, them little boogers is in there. Let's dress that up. Another good little spring. Followed by 2 small check balls. Kind of washer deal. Alright, it's got us all tore apart. Hey everybody, and welcome back to NW Farms. Tonight we are going to start reassembling the brake valve for the 6030. I've had this disassembled. Thought I've ordered 2 of them. Isn't that it? I have to go back and check that. Thought it did. But either way, I've had this apart for a couple, I don't know, probably a month or more, maybe 2 months. I don't know. It was back in the winter when I tore it apart. It was cold. But if you run any 10 series, 20 series, and up into the 6030. The 6030 still kept this style of brake valve, but it's 2 piston brake valve, and they're notorious for leaking. You can buy them rebuilt. They're $1,000. You can buy this kit that's $30, and you got to have these plungers, and they're I think it's a couple $100 for the cost of them with the new seals. So I went the cheap route, like always, and I figured I'd try to build it, see what I could do. So this is an O-ring kit here for it. There's your part number. That's an A&I kit, so that is the same quality as John Deere. I've got it laid out on 2 different tiles. You can see this one here, and then there's another one over there. This one here is kind of the lower section, all the internal stuff. So I'm gonna try to go ahead and seal it all. I've got my shop manual for the 6030 sitting here. Some of these little valves and stuff, what I actually done is I actually took one of the 2 apart so that I could find my O-rings. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna set my kit out here on another set of paper towels, and we'll start matching some stuff up. Clean some of this stuff up and start changing it over. I took video of this whenever I took it all apart in hopes that maybe I would be able to remember where everything went. Go ahead and get these little bitty things out of here. Swapped over first. Well, maybe won't be as likely to lose them. And whenever you're building this kind of stuff, you just start with trying to match up seals. I need to get some brake clean so I can clean all this right here. Clean paper towel here. And spray all this stuff off and wipe it off. Okay, so we got 4 of these guys. Okay, so I got 2 new ones on there. Take my old ones off. These are a special Matco pick. There's 4 of them in a set, and this one here is SRP 4G2, and they're flat, so they're made to do O-rings with, and they're made to where you cannot tear them. Brakes were working good on the 6030. They were actually leaking out the top of the valve. And it had just got to where it was leaking more than what I wanted it to. Well, so there's that one there. Okay. Got an O-ring down inside there. Take our pick, stick down in there. Roll it up out of there. Consider that to be us right there. See what I got in there? There's done. Down in here we've got that plastic backing and that rubber O-ring. Looks like it's O-ring first and then backing retainer. Take my pick and push that all the way down to the bottom. And then start fishing her. I don't know if I should take these gloves off. I don't see how people work in gloves all the time. The big one's here. Go right in there. Alright, so we still have Okay, so we're gonna start to assemble the actual valve body back. Got all the seals put in. Got everything done there. So now I'm ready to start putting her back together. I'm gonna start right here. in the center with 10 through 15. There's the picture of the exploded parts diagram in the service manual. Says number 10 is a little steel washer. Gotta make sure that sets flat down in there. And then we've got a little coil spring. That guy there. Drop him down in there, okay? And then we got this funny looking little cup thing here that has a check ball on top of it. I'll drop that down in there. And then you've got a little small check ball right there. Got him set down in there. 13 is the steel ball, got that. 14 is the O-ring, and 15 is the connector. And so this one right here should be our connector. You can see that that's tapered in there where the ball sits on there. Okay. Alright, so that's got that one. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the stuff here in the middle for these. And so we've already got our backup ring down in there. I'll wash that out one more time. Just to be sure that I got that cleaned up. Okay, it shows number 7 is an O-ring and there's 2 of them. So 1 on each stick. So that's what those guys look like there. Now there is a torque spec on these, so I'll have to get me a socket and tighten them down. Grab that. Book calls for high guard hydraulic oil on those. I'm just gonna put a little dab of engine oil on them. No more than what's there, it ain't gonna hurt anything. Grab your ratchet. Okay. So these are our next items that are going to go in. These are our springs. Go down there just like that right there. And these guys here go on, I think like that. Okay, so the next thing we got to put in are the two valves here in the center. We'll start there. With them, they have, looks like the first thing that goes in is a spring. Should be two of them. There are. One, two. Okay. 29 is two more steel balls. Okay. 30 are O-rings for the actual, the little guide. These little guys here. And they are going to go in just like that right there. Put this little Tomcat salve on them there. Same thing again. Okay, got those guys in. Says 33 is a washer. That's where we're gonna have problems. Got 34 here. So we are missing two washers and a sleeve. Okay, so I turned you off for just a minute and went back. I've watched my video and kind of figured out what I had done and what was in the wrong place. So this, I've had this brake valve tore apart since Christmas Eve day. And it's took me this long to get circled back around to it here, get all my parts together, and had several other things going on the farm. So the little inside these two pistons here, there's two little steel rods with a plastic washer on them that's a toothpick's bigger than what they are. So got those put in, and then in here I figured out that I was missing something. Excuse me. And there was a top hat plunger that I had forgot to put in there. So I got both of those put in. and then I put there's two other steel pins that go up here in the top. And so more or less, we are ready now to put this top back onto here and kind of close this up. I'm going to reuse my old plungers on the top side. I ordered new boots and that kind of stuff. So it goes up here like so. I need to put a little oil on those O-rings right there. Make them slide in together a little easier. Just like that. Okay. We probably should have bought new plungers or sandblasted those or something. If it goes to leaking, I can replace this stuff from the top side without having to completely disassemble the brake valve. And like me and Bruce were talking about this morning in regards to some of our, we've got on a kick of, we've bought several what we refer to as high horsepower collectible tractors here in the last few years, and we have really and honestly no desire to operate those tractors in the field continuously like what we do with some of the other tractors. So this tractor, if it gets 10 or 15 hours of work time on it a year, that's going to be the most it ever gets. It is not going to get a lot of run time. Okay, so I'm ready to put my paper gasket on here, on top of this plate here, so that we can set all this back down together. If you've been viewing my videos for a while, you know that I don't like to use RTV or silicone. I try to use paper gaskets, and on paper gaskets we use gasket shellac. For the old guys, which is majority of the people that watch my channel, for all you old timers, you're gonna refer to this stuff as Indian head. Being a young guy growing up with the old guys in the shop, and around old guys, I still call it Indian head too, but that's derogatory or some kind of an offensive language according to most people. So I'm gonna put me a coat on there. Go ahead and I'm gonna lay it down on here on the housing. Turned it upside down, dadgummit. Well, go ahead and put it on the other side. This stuff makes a god-awful mess too. This is like gear oil. If you've ever been around it, it has a very distinctive smell that is very recognizable. It's very sticky. Okay. I think we have everything. Cross your fingers and toes and all that fun stuff. looking like. Okay. Get me a 9/16 wrench here. Of course, we're overcoming spring pressure. You notice I have a stubby 9/16. I do not have an impact out here. Zizzing these down. That way, if I were to hit enough resistance for some shape, form, or reason that I can't overcome with this small wrench, or that stops it, I know that I have issues and I need to go back and figure out what's wrong. That's one of the biggest things I see students do at the college and the shop is they learn what an impact is, and I'm as guilty as they are. But when you come to doing precision parts, rebuild stuff like this, impacts take stuff apart and you put it together by hand so that you can know that everything's going good. I mean, you look, that right there, that's taking no effort to turn that wrench. So all we're doing is we're continually coming down, doing away with the spring tension. All right, so she just got a little resistance right there. Same thing there. Let me get me a 9/16 socket for that. Same thing there. Just very light pressure is all I've got. Over there. All right, you can see we squeezed just a little bit of residual Indian head out of our seal there. So this guy is back together. The only thing left we have to do is to put the one check ball, the springs, the screen, and this one valve in. I went ahead and put these two in here. Behind these two here, there is a like 1/2 inch flat washer disc looking thing that goes in there and seals those up. And I may have put these two on in the wrong order. I don't remember which order they were on the tractor. I'll have to go back and look at my video from taking them off that night. And I don't know that I'm going to include all that. Both of these videos are going to be fairly long, and to most people this is boring, and you are not going to find this interesting. But it's something that I wanted to record that I done, just to make sure that we had everything. Okay, The only thing I have left are these guys here. And I did not take anything out that looked like this. And this kit fits several different things. So I took all my parts out, laid them over here on the workbench on a cloth, matched all my O-rings and everything up, so I don't feel bad about the fact that I did have some stuff that I am not using. If I had stuff that I was not using and I had stuff over here on my workbench that I needed that matched it, I would be a little more worried about it. But because I don't have any leftover parts and I don't have anything that matches up with them, I'm not real worried about it. This guy here went there. So I'm gonna have to pull that O-ring right there back off. So I'll take my O-ring pick, walk underneath there. Put our screen on there, just like so. Put our O-ring on, and we're ready to put the final piece of the puzzle in there. And then I get to go back and put it on 60-30. Which I'm excited for. $60-30 is just fun to run. We probably didn't need the 60-30. I say we like there's multiple owners. Me, I probably didn't need 60-30. But I got it. I'm proud I got it. Proud to be blessed enough to have the opportunity to get to own one of them. Put our yokes back on here. Then I gotta go find the brake pedals. I think they're in the back of my other truck. All right, let me go find the brake pedals. I'll put them back together because I got bushings for them. And then we'll see about going and putting this on the tractor. Alright guys, so we got the brake valve back on the 60/30. Everything functioned just like it's supposed to. We got good brakes, we didn't have any leaks. And so I shut it down and I came in and I actually just rebuilt the seat for it. And I started a video yet, but I didn't. But it's all ready to go back on now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on maybe Friday. And then we'll see what we can get into. So thanks for stopping in. I know it was a long video, sorry. But we'll just put it all in one, that way it'll be one and done. So if you got a brake valve on a 40/20, 30/20, any of those newer generation tractors, that'll help you get that build up. So thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our videos and our channel, and leave us a comment.